McCART IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm delighted to be joined by my young friend, Junaid Bostan. JD, man, listen, we spoke a couple of weeks ago at an MTK show. You told me a little bit, that your ambitions to turn pro. Well, you've finally done it. You've put pen to paper. You've signed with Frank Warren, man. How delighted are you?
Yeah, man, I'm buzzing. Obviously, it's been in the works for a while now. I've had to keep it quiet. That's all Grant told me to do: keep it quiet, because nothing's ever guaranteed, and it's been pushed over the line. And yeah, I'm happy to announce that I've turned professional. I'm signed with Frank. I'm managed and trained by Grant, a man who I trust, and so it's all up to me now.
When you say Grant, you mean Grant Smith, who's trained Dalton Smith, his son, and Sonny Edwards and Charlie Edwards up the line. He's trained all these guys. So let's start with Grant then. I mean, you trust Grant, you said there, more than anything. I know Grant very well. I know the type of man he is. He's a great man. But for you in your pro ranks, this is the best team that you've got behind you, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely. Like, I've been with Grant since I was 12. I've said this sort of repeatedly. Like, there's no other man I really trust to be in my corner. He's put a lot of work in this, and I can't thank him enough. And I'd like to say it on here. Thank you very much to Grant. And I appreciate it, and I appreciate my parents, and I appreciate Grant. They've put a lot of work in, not just over these last few months, but the last few years. I've not always shown I appreciate it, but I always have. Mm-hmm. But I'd like to say, I appreciate it, and I'm very thankful and grateful.
Definitely, well said. I know Grant. He's a top man. But you signed with Frank Warren, Uncle Frank, that many people might know him as. Was it an easy decision for you to turn with Frank?
It's just basically it was the best offer for me. Like, it was looking at the options and everything. Me and Grant spoke. We had obviously he mentioned going pro. We got speaking to Frank, and it seemed suitable for me. And with how I want my career progressing, it was ideal. So yeah.
Well, he's putting on shows where he's going to showcase the talent of his young fighters and stuff. Yeah. So you will be sort of like, you won't be hidden on the undercard of some main event or something like that. This is a show to showcase your talent. I mean, he signed Callum Thompson as well, I believe, and as well from Gallagher's gym. So he signed some very, very young, talented fighters and stuff like that. Yeah. So how excited are you to finally get in that ring, put on them small gloves, under them lights, and get the ball rolling?
I'm buzzing. I can't complain. Listen, I've been looking at this since I was a kid. I've always loved pro boxing, and I've always been interested. I've always been around pro boxers, so I know what's expected of me. I'm 19 years of age. I'm with boxing, hopefully potential on TV. I'm with boxing with little 10-ounce gloves, with no head guard, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm here to entertain. You said it yourself. BT showcased a lot of young boxers, and you've got to be one of the main ones in order to get that limelight. And with my style and how I am, and my personality, and how I'm looking on progressing, I feel like I'll be there.
Talking about your style then, because you did mention that with your style, with people that haven't seen you fight and stuff like that, you will be showcasing this on BT Sport, and the fans are to trickle back into these events and stuff like that. So what can they expect from you? What kind of style can they expect?
I can box on the front foot, back foot, southpaw orthodox. If I need to fight, I can fight. I can box, fight. I can box. I can keep it long, short. I can do whatever. Listen, whatever needs to be done to win a fight, I'll do. I don't stick to necessarily any style, but I'm entertained and I like to perform. End of the day, like boxing's a business, especially professional. Like, let's not kid here. Amateur boxing is a sport, whereas the professionals is a business. You've got to sell tickets. You've got to look well. You've got to look the part. You've got to win. But main priority is winning, and then second, looking good. And I'm looking at doing both.
You mentioned 10-ounce gloves there. What weight are you going to fight at?
Light middle.
Yeah, well, I thought the 10-ounce gloves there, I was like, well, he's definitely not going to be fighting any lighter than light middle.
Nah, it's deceiving, you know. I look deceiving. I feel like everyone says it, like, couldn't you go smaller, like to a smaller weight? Couldn't you make welter? Couldn't you make this? Couldn't you make that? But I feel like you've got to see me in order to almost understand why I could make welter, but by the time I get into title contention, anything like that, I'd have outgrown the weight anyway, so there's no point. I'd rather let my body grow, enjoy it, and just go from there.
But you kind of are deceiving because you're pretty tall, ain't you? You must be close to 6 foot, you know.
I got measured the other day. I'm 6 foot.
Oh, are you? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, 6 foot.
6 foot.
Sounds better than 5'11", doesn't it? So
I'm 5.
All the birds watching. Yes, I'm 6 foot.
I'm 5'10", 6 foot with heels.
That's the one.
Listen, fighting on BT Sport and all this sort of stuff, man, do you feel any pressure? And are you feeling it now that you've turned pro? Are you feeling any sort of like nerves or anything like that to the fact that now is your sort of dream is starting to come together now?
No, I haven't put much thought into it, to be honest with you. I feel like maybe it could maybe come close to it. You feel a little pressure, and I feel like any nerves, it depends how you control your nerves, if that makes sense. Like, there's nothing wrong with nerves, it's how you control them. So it's good to have nerves, but no, I don't feel no pressure in itself. I don't put much thought into it. At the end of the day, you got to fight. A bloke's got 2 arms, 2 legs. Whether there's a camera there or not, or whether there's people there or not, you've got to perform and you've got to win. So yeah, like I said, I've been around it since a young age. I know what's expected, and at the end of the day, it's my time.
You're from Sheffield, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, Sheffield's a great
Well,
fight.
Rotherham and Sheffield. I train in Sheffield. I spend a lot of time in Sheffield, but I'm from Rotherham too. Yeah, which is just outside of Sheffield.
I mean, like Sheffield, and I'd say this to Dalton Smith a lot as well. That Mikel Brook really sort of coming to the end of his career, and you've had fighters like Johnny Nelson and and Prince Nassim. I mean, are you and Dalton that next great hope coming from Sheffield? That next great fighter?
Yeah, of course. Listen, there's a new crop coming out. Like you've got obviously Kel's at the end of his career. I've watched him since a kid. You've got Barry fighting for a world title, so he's in his prime almost. But he'll be gone after a few years. Yeah, so they're looking for a few prospects. I believe I'm one of them. Dalton's one of them. Obviously Sonny, but he's from London, but he's one of our own. So yeah, you could say Sonny. Yeah. You've got a good few lads, not even from my gym either. You've got Dante Dixon. You've got Shaquille Thompson. You've got a lot of fresh lads coming through, and obviously I'm looking to hopefully that we'll all come through and we'll all do well, because if all of us do well, we can all bring big shows to the city, and that's what you want.
Definitely. The 154-pound division right now domestically is probably one of the hottest going in terms of Ted Cheeseman, Anthony Fowler. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All these guys, it's a tough old division and stuff like that. It's a division that if a young kid's coming through and they look at these guys, the Troy Williamsons and stuff like that, the Anthony Fowlers, you know what I mean? It's for a young guy like yourself coming through, looking at that division, man, you must be licking your lips.
Oh, of course. Listen, I'm looking at being there in a few years. Like I said before, these are men compared to me. I'm a baby. I've got no compared to them. What have I done? I've not really anything compared to them. But I'm going to be there in a few years, and I'm going to be better than these guys. Like, of course, I've got to maintain what I feel ability-wise. I'm there already. However, that's not enough. Like I said before, professional boxing is a lot more than ability. You'll get found out, so you can't rush things, and the people who are behind me won't allow me to do that. So give me a few years where I can maintain what I can do for 4 to 12 rounds, and then slow things down, adapt my style to the pros. I'll be there. I'll be ready. I'll be flying.
Now, imagine them great Sheffield fighters like Prince Nassim and that. Who do you look up to when you're coming from that Rotherham, Sheffield area, that Yorkshire area? Who did you look up to as a young fighter?
As a young, like I said, I don't know role models, but I've always looked up to Kel, Barry, Naz. When I was a baby, you always looked up to Amir Khan, because obviously I'm half Pakistani, so how could you not look up to these people? Listen to Brendan tell me the stories and everything. You obviously hear a lot, and then you look up to these blokes, and you're always watching the fights. Like I was saying before, I was speaking the other week to one of the lads, speaking about the Sheffield shows. There hasn't been one in a while, and in the Sheffield arena, but Naz for Jose Badillo, and that was his last fight, I believe, in Sheffield. That was one of my favourite fights of his. So I've always looked up to these fighters, but I'm looking to do my own thing, and I want to make some bad boy highlight reel. So lads are gonna be looking up to me in a few years. So yeah.
You're gonna make some bad boy highlight reels.
That's the one.
Yeah,
listen, do you know them highlight clips? You know when you type in like Prince and that's highlights?
Yeah.
We'll be typing Junaid Bostan highlights in a few years. So yeah.
There you go, mate. Listen, have you got a fight date yet? Have you heard anything when you will be out?
Fingers crossed, September time. I can't say too much. I think a few things are penciled in, but I can't say too much. But yeah, I'm looking forward. Sooner the better. I want to fight often. I'm not one of these kids who just want to fight here and there. I want to stay in the gym. I want to stay disciplined. I have no choice. Grant won't allow anything different. And I want to box all the time.
Well, definitely. You're obviously a hungry young kid that wants to be out as much. But going back to your gym with Grant and Dalton Smith and Sonny Edwards, I mean, they're two. Sonny Edwards is a world champion. Dalton Smith is like 8-0, 9-0, I believe, or something like that. And he's already making a name for himself. and stuff like. What inspiration do you draw from these guys, and do you think that with the number of fights that they've had, that you can probably follow their sort of path into winning titles? Really,
I'm not really trying to follow anyone's path, but you can take lessons from everyone. Like what Dalton's done, what Sonny's done, what he did in this situation, what he should have done in this situation. They're all doing very well. Dalton's doing very well. Sonny's smashing it at the moment. World champion. Can't complain. Yeah, everything's going well, and I feel like it's a good time to turn over now for myself. I'm just looking at these, and I think I'm buzzing. If these lot are doing it, what am I going to be able to do? Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Definitely. One final word from yourself for the viewers of IFL TV that are watching this. What can they expect from Junaid come his pro debut?
Excitement. Just fun. I'm going to box. I'm going to box to instructions. I'm going to do what I need to do, win, and just perform. I'm going to have fun with it. I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself. It's a career, ain't it? It's not. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to enjoy it. And I'd like to shout out my sponsors, Empire. I'd like to shout out HB and Sports Cupping Therapy. They've been looking after me these last few months. I'm just looking forward to it. I'm delighted to be turning pro, and I've got a good team around me. It's up to me now, and that's it. It's what it is. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it as well, man. I know a lot of people have been telling me about yourself for a long time now, Junaid. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing you under them lights and in that between them ropes. So come September time, I'll be watching with keen eyes. And listen, it's good time to head back. So good luck to you, brother. And no doubt this is the first of many interviews.
Thank you very much, pal. I appreciate it.
Anytime, my man. You stay safe, and I'll see you soon.
You too, my man. Look after yourself.
You too, my man.
Thank you.